Hello and welcome to the first official vlog of the year. Except I'm lying, this vlog you're about to see was filmed last year. It was meant for the first season and it covers the sort of pre-launch phase of Mornington House, which is my indie home goods business that I'm looking to launch. It was just a clip about a weekend I had working on bits and pieces that led to the soft launch, which has happened. I think there will be another thing altogether when we eventually cover it on video, but for this vlog, you will see the process of it happening. Apologies for whatever was going on my eye. It has clearly gotten better now. But other than that, I hope you enjoy my week of indie business work. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of From the Studio. Although, we're technically not in the studio. This is my room at home, so technically we're from home, but it's fine. For the last few episodes of From the Studio, we've been focusing a lot on setting the studio up, getting ready for the market stall. But now that we've passed that phase, it's actually time to move on to what really matters here, which is to properly launch the brand. And I'm gonna say, right from the off, we've not made much progress. There's a couple of things I need to do in terms of preparing things like a website and photography that have not been done. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today, and that's why we're working from home, because computers, it's easier to do work there. So today is Friday. My schedule for this week was that I had work on Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, and then a Friday to Sunday is basically my time, right? So I was thinking over the next 2 or 3 days to try and make some progress on the things we need to. So today could be a good day to start planning out the kind of product photography that we need for not just the website, but for Instagram, just general good photos to have in the catalog for any kind of purpose. And then tomorrow, which would be Saturday, I plan on going down to the studio and we can try and take some of the photos. I am slowly trying to get some jars made because it takes a while for the jars to be made and then you need to seal them and then you make the candles out of them. So I want to make sure that before we launch, I have a decent number of jars ready to go. And at the moment, it's kind of annoying because out of all the silicone molds I made from the previous episodes, I would say only one of them is properly decent. Maybe 2 are usable, but I definitely need to make a few more molds in order to get this process to be more efficient, because right now I'm making 2 jars at a time and one of them tends to have problems, and that's just not a very efficient way of doing it. So I'm thinking of probably ordering some silicone to make more, and then we can make jars more efficiently. And then something else I really need to work on is our website. So it's been something I've been working on since, I don't even know anymore, like April. So it's all there. It's at the 80% mark, and I feel like when you are approaching a creative project, sometimes there's this concept that was brought up by Jason and Caroline Zook of wandering aimfully, which is that the last kind of few percent of a project just takes almost as long as the first however many percent you already got done. And I definitely feel that. I feel like I've been working on all the things I've been wanting to work on for this brand for so long, and we're nearly there. Like, I can see some glimpse of a finish line, but that just feels like there's still so much to do, especially for the website. I feel like it's there, but it's also not there. This is my lazy way of showing you. Here's the website. So you can see, it's mostly there. Oh gosh, it's my face again. We have it mostly set up. I even have, I'm gonna be honest and say that I definitely overcomplicated this, but you know, it's part of the it's part of the charm of my brand, right? So we've got a product page, there's information pages, and then there are different sections. So yeah, there's stuff, but then there are empty spaces like this that I don't really know what to do with. And then I have an about page that's also kind of there, but also not. So I'm hoping that this weekend I make a bit of progress on this, because my intention is to launch by October. It is currently just past the middle of September. So timeline-wise, not great. I think what we're going to prioritize today is actually product photography, because I need the photos in order to then properly plan how a website should be laid out. I've just realized that's my workflow, so it would make more sense for me to get some photos done first, and then we try and get it done tomorrow. We take some pictures, Although, okay, I'm not too sure we'll be able to get photos done this week because I would need to pour candles first, which I've not done, and it's not gonna happen in time. We'll try, maybe it will get done. But if not, we might just create stuff for like from the studio stuff. So maybe thumbnails, promotional pictures, stuff like that. I've not really sat down to formally do a plan for a shoot before, so this is gonna be slightly interesting. But we're gonna give it a go, we're gonna try, and if it's a failure, who cares? This is part of the reality of trying things out. Okay, so just running through a bit of what we've kind of achieved so far. I will say this plan is not the final plan. Like, as you can see, we were kind of developing it on the fly in terms of all of this information. Not ideal, I will say. You should have all of this written down if you already have a brand in place. I'm developing it in tandem with kind of doing all of this, and that's why all of this is not ready. I mean, most of the notes, like, I've had a general idea of all of this. I've just never written it down as a proper sentence to copy and paste. So that's something I need to do at some point. But yeah, so as you can see, these were pictures that I've gathered over time that I just kind of brought over from places like Instagram and Pinterest. Also, don't mind me, I was just like being occupied with a stream while we were doing all of this. And like, I wrote down specific notes of what we wanted to, like, what I liked about each photo, right? So there's that. This side is actually photos I've taken before, so I have reference of what I've done. And then I also wrote down kind of what we need. So just to emphasize here, this is not a reason to be just copying and pasting someone else's work. The reason why I've placed this down is that I haven't kind of decided how to interpret it in my own way. And like, I'm treating this as like the master reference image, but I will not be copying it wholesale. And that's something that's important when it comes to like taking reference and inspiration from others, is just try not to just copy and paste it. Like, bring your own spin on it. And that's why I was writing down different points. And as I develop the idea further, hopefully we'll end up with something that's something unique, I guess. But yeah, I think I'm gonna continue to kind of develop that photo plan over time. I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to be able to get like done tomorrow when we're at the studio, because based on what I see in terms of what I prepared, I would need some things that I currently don't have. Especially in terms of soap, I can't really make any progress on soap right now because I haven't made my soap. I'm changing my color scheme. So to take photos of the current soap, kind of, it's a bit pointless. And I have some wooden boards, which I'll introduce to you when we reach the studio tomorrow, for taking photos and stuff. But depending on the color scheme that we want to go with, I might have to go and prepare some more different kind of backdrops. So that will really determine how much of this we can get done. But the plan is to get this done as soon as possible because, yes, we need the photos. Maybe what tomorrow can be is a little test run. So I will have all of the things. So I've got my jars, I've got some of the materials, and I've got a backdrop. We can use it as a test run to see, like, in general, do we like the ideas and the angles that we're gonna go for? And then I'll go ahead and properly make everything. So this should be enough for us to launch with, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. And I will probably have to consider different types of framing and cropping as well, because again, what we might use on social media might be a completely different orientation for what we need for the website. Okay, so this is very impromptu, but it is now almost midnight. And I've been working a bit on the website. There's a bit of an alternate timeline happening in the world of video releases and stuff. So what you are seeing right now is the 6th episode of From the Studio, right? But when I'm filming this, the 2nd episode of From the Studio is releasing tomorrow. So this is very confusing, but I thought to kind of tie in with the episode where we are making sample candles, we could actually offer the remaining sample candles from the market fair for like my Instagram followers if they're interested in trying them out and if they're based in Singapore. So I just spent the evening kind of setting up the website, just a single product page so that they have something to look at. For some reason, and I'm using Shopify as my website thing, It is so annoying to create bundled products. Like, you have to use extra plugins, and then the plugins don't, like, not all of them keep track of inventory. There's a limit to how many options you can have. It was a nightmare, but it's kind of done now. So here we go. This is just a basic kind of ordering page. So what I will be doing is I'll be posting it on my Instagram, and then there'll be a link that leads directly to this page. And that way, the rest of the website that is not complete will hopefully not get seen. And then there are just the scents that are remaining, and there are the notes here. And what people can do is they can choose 4 from this list. I can't talk and click at the same time. So that's 4. You can like kind of pick and choose. You can have 2 of the same scents as well, and it's programmed in a way where it will automatically make something unavailable if, say, you kind of pick too many. So hopefully this will help with inventory tracking and for stopping people from accidentally buying something that is no longer available. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And look at the time. It's almost midnight. This always happens whenever I touch Shopify. Time just goes flying by, and I spend hours, and by the end of it, it's always like past midnight. I mean, I know we live in the tropics, so why does it always rain when I come here? And there goes my umbrella. Goodbye. Yep, okay. Oh dear. What even is this angle? Okay, so this has been a very eventful trip over to the studio. Oh gosh. I mean, as you saw, it was raining, and if you're wondering what on earth this angle is, I forgot to bring my tripod. So this is kind of annoying. I'm literally kneeling on my chair just to get to the right height. This is on a mount that I use for top-down shoots. But yeah, so I don't know how we're gonna figure this out today. But yeah, I guess the main thing is that we are at the studio. And my silicone, so I ordered more silicone for the molds, right? And it's here. I have it. So that might be something that I do for a start today. And then once that is done, we might figure out just some of the product photography. I'm gonna have to get creative because we don't have a tripod. I'm gonna have to just do the handheld shots, which should be fine in itself. It's just, I don't know. I'm honestly feeling a bit deflated right now because I forgot to bring that, and then it was raining, my pants are wet. It's just, I don't know. So maybe what we'll do before we start is actually just take a breather, rest for a bit, because I have the whole day anyway. And then get around to making the molds. Hopefully that goes well, and we'll see what we can achieve. Okay, mold number 1 is done. I'm letting it sit a bit longer this time, just to avoid some of the potential cure inhibition that might happen. We'll have to see whether it works. So previously I left it for about 1 to 2 hours. We're gonna leave it for 3, which does mean that our mold making process slows down a bit, but if it means we end up with a better quality mold, I am willing to sacrifice an hour. I did also pour quicker this time because if you were around when we were talking about molds previously, you would see that this is what happens when you pour too slowly. So I think we've avoided that with this set. Let's just hope that bubbles don't become a problem with pouring quicker. And let's also hope that my camera learns how to focus properly. But yeah, so we're just gonna leave this and see how it turns out. Okay, and I think we are pretty much good to go for today. You should really look at it. Oh, look at that. That's a shelf of jars. So obviously we did a bit more organizing, but yeah, you should see the state of the room right now. I had it tidied up, but now it's a mess again. I think this last bit of product photography actually made up for feeling a bit deflated earlier in the day. So this last bit, I didn't really take much footage of it properly, but you should have seen some pictures. I was taking some thumbnails for the silicone mold episode. Hopefully it worked out, because this is a couple of episodes after that video would have been released. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this specific shoot because, I don't know, I like the feel of the photo where it's like the close-up details, the shadows and the light playing with each other. I had a lot of fun doing this. It kind of made up again, like I feel a lot better about today. And yeah, now all that's left to do is really to clean up. Because again, look at the state of this place. So I think that's gonna wrap up today's episode of From the Studio. Thank you so much again for joining me. I feel a little bit closer to the launch in terms of what we've achieved, so that's good. But yeah, I'll see you soon.